HGR brings us coverage tonight to end the weekend on a Sunday night, right here on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. My name is Garrett Jenkins, the host for tonight's race. Right now, we do got a new title sponsor. We do got a new sponsor tonight. Going to be working on getting it up here. So right now, James Warren, Garrett Caswell, Carl Lingle, Tim White, Justin Johnson. That is the top 5 to start practice right now. There it is. However, not underneath the background. So right now, while we wait, Fanaticaling Green for Clean is proud sponsor for the HGR series tonight. Of course, news coming in: the next driver, the driver with the odds-on best chances of ending the $200 pre-race bonus curse, will be Joshua McCullough. We'll see how he can handle tonight. And who knows, for McCullough, the extra $200 in his pocket might not be so bad. Matter of fact, while we wait here, let's see if we can't get a word with old McCullough. Joshua McCullough, Garrett Jenkins up here in B. Got a copy, buddy? Try this one more time here. Joshua McCullough, Garrett Jenkins up here in the B. Got a copy? Alright, so right now McCullough not able to be broadcasted at the moment. Right now, a couple drivers on track. Gordon Spain making his return tonight. Back for some more here at HGR. Right now, Spain will clock in 7th quickest. On down through the field, Justin Johnson and Steve Sizemore right now working together, trying to practice what they can, see how these cars handle the draft tonight with just over 4 minutes remaining here in practice. Right now, only 7 drivers have posted a lap so far tonight, but 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20 drivers registered for tonight. David Sheets coming into the pits. He is in tonight, and I ain't seen this joker in a while. Garrett Caswell makes his return to HGR as well. Right now, Caswell top of the board with a 53.958. Another driver looking to have a good run tonight. James Waring had a great run last Friday, looking to go up one more spot as well. Well, there's going to be several drivers looking to return to victory lane tonight. Everybody wants to go to victory lane, but whenever I think of drivers who haven't returned to victory lane on the broadcast side of things, at least, man, I think of Joshua McCullough. Of course, the extra $200 bonus. All he has to do is win tonight. Sizemore top of the board, 53.213. But Richard Elliott's won numerous races that have not been aired on the broadcast, but has not gotten that first broadcast win, I do not believe. Christopher Carter, one of them, has big wreck between Michael Wingo and James Waring. But just to name a few drivers, Steve Sizemore, another one, really trying to get back to victory lane. So again, in order to get the $200 bonus that Joshua McCullough is going for, you have got to win the race to get it. Right now, Richard Elliott, 8th quickest with a minute 01 here. We're coming up on the 16th, Christopher Carter. Carter has not posted a lap yet. I believe this will be his warm-up lap. No, it's not. It's actually, no, it was actually his first lap being ran tonight. 106.56 for Carter. Well, half a minute to go. Justin Johnson on top of the speed charge with a 52.912. Sizemore, Caswell, Waring, and Elliott. That's the top 5. Carl Lingleton, White, Gordon Spain, Christopher Carter rounds out the 9 drivers that have posted a lap. That'll do it for practice. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Got an action-packed night. This is going to be one way to start off a new week, a good week even. So right now, we'll see who's going to be the first driver to go up. Matter of fact, Christopher Carter will be the first one to post a lap so long as nothing happens that will interfere with it. Right behind him, Tim White. In a beautiful 239 car. Behind him, David Sheets. Garrett Caswell, then I believe up next we're going to have the man going for an extra $200, Joshua McCullough. Of course, McCullough looking to be the first driver to actually win the $200 bonus. Right behind him, Steve Sizemore. Sizemore just looking to try to return the victory lane. And we're going to focus back in on Christopher Carter. Right now, Carter has had a great run. Was having a great run last week till it went awry for him. in the late stages of the race. All right, now that Mountain Dew number 16 trying to work himself back up to the top of the boards. And right now he is fastest through the first half of this racetrack. 21 or 27.1. Right now that's the fastest that we see. Right now Steve Sizemore just jumps up to the fastest in the first half, but at the line, Christopher Carter to set the first lap of the race tonight, and it will be a 52 or 54 269. Tim White falls right into second place. Gary Cashwell top of the board with a 265. Joshua McCullough, the pre-race bonus entrant, where is he placed? It'll be fourth quickest. Steve Sizemore top of the board. Right now, Gordon Spain will be the next one to take a shot at it. So Spain knocked Sizemore off the front row. He does not. James Waring. Of course, still some heavy hitters to come if they choose to qualify. For Waring's lap, it is a 3:42, good enough for ninth quickest. Ken McCullough, top of the board in second. Right now, a minute to go, minute and a half, really. Richard Elliott. Well, he's up there in the 27.2s. He's going to really need a great exit of 4 here to have a shot at the pole. Richard Elliott choosing not to cut the apron. Survey says, where does Elliott place in this? Good enough for sixth quickest. Former pole sitter for HGR. Danny Barnes returns tonight, and Barnes will go to a 54.331. The ever-fast John Ward, the 2023 PGR champion and a 7-time Intimidator Series winner, trying to return to victory lane for the third week in a row. And the way it looks, this Ward will be the last one to be able to take a shot at the pole here. And right now, Ward is almost in the range, not the fastest, but right there at it. It's going to be 10 seconds to go. It's going to be close. They may give it to him. They may not. 9 seconds. Bad fast Ward. Is it enough for the pole? The clock runs out. P3 for Ward. They barely got it in there too, didn't he? Barely. Well, with that being said, Steve Sizemore on the pole. Just go ahead and get a word with him. Try not to jinx him. Steve Sizemore, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth, buddy.
What's up, brother?
Well, we've seen this story beforehand.
Yeah, I got a new paint job now, though.
Yeah, I see. It's a very nice looking paint job. Be better if it has some. Be better if it has some Carolina Panther blue on it somewhere. But
Hear you there.
nonetheless, buddy, starting on the front row yet again. Where's the confidence level walking into tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm gonna need some help, obviously, but hey, we'll see what first time around this paint. Maybe I'll have some good luck.
Buddy, I want to ask, what is one of the key things tonight that can ensure not only you but another driver getting the job done as far as getting a good finish or even possibly to win?
Having good help and making sure your pit stops go good. That's the key for me, anyway.
All right, buddy. Well, we look forward to seeing how it plays out. Hopefully this is the night. We'll talk to you after the race.
Hope to hear from you.
Yes, sir, buddy. Best of luck to you. Steve Sizemore rolling
Thank
off
you.
from the pole. Of course, that being said, we'll go ahead and go through the starting grid for tonight's race. Well, hold up. Gotta fix something. So let's see. 42 laps on deck tonight. And it will be Steve Sizemore over Ken McCullough by 5 thousandths of a second. Over John Ward by 9 thousandths. That's the top three. Garrett Cashwell, Jason Branch, fourth and fifth. Christopher Carter, Richard Elliott, John Darnell, Joshua McCullough, the pre-race bonus favorite. Coming into the night, he will roll off ninth. David Sheets, Tim White, Carl Lingle rounds out the fast 12. On down through the field. Zachary Harry, Danny Barnes, James Waring, Gordon Spain. That's the top 16. Justin Johnson, Joey Gladio, Joey Massowitz, Eric White, Joey Allen, Ambrose Knievel, Mark Vondale, and Michael Wingo rounds out a 24 car field for tonight's event. Right now, your favorite teams in action tonight. Dega Pros is loaded. Gordon Spain, James Waring, Jason Branch, Joey Massowitz, John Ward, Christopher Carter, Garrett Caswell, Justin Johnson, and Steve Sizemore. That is all Dega Pros. Blind Squirrel Racing entries of Amherst Knievel, Carl Lingle, Zachary Harry. And then, of course, MMS brings to the table Kenneth and Joshua McCullough, Danny Barnes, David Sheets, Joseph Allen, Mark Vondale, and Richard Elliott. Stars to the field tonight. And Steve Sizemore and Kenneth McCullough Jr. will bring her down to United Rentals restart zone. We're rolling. Down back straight away, McCullough getting a great push by Caswell. Head for Christopher Carter right now. Sizemore getting a push from Ward on the bottom lane, but McCullough's going to lead going into turn 3. Right now, McCullough will drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. For MMS, actually the leader of MMS, Ken McCullough through the trial. He will lead the first laps tonight. Right now, Caswell leading that outside lane, but right now, McCullough getting a great push from Sizemore. Down the back straightaway, Caswell draws even right with him. Down the back straightaway. Another great push from Christopher Carter. Caswell just is clear enough to drop down in front of the 03 new leader, Garrett Caswell, officially. All right now, John Ward will move up to the outside lane. He'll leave Sizemore for the moment. Going to push. Lead as John Darnell in the 6th at the line. Who leads it? Give it a Carter. Barely. 3 down, 2 down, 40 to go. Right now, Christopher Carter leading. Now it's up to Darnell to try to pull that middle lane. You see Joshua McCullough trying to make that outside lane work with Mark Vondell. Joey Maslowitz. Of course, for Joshua McCullough. Again, you got the lead. You got to win the race to get the extra $200 bonus. All right, now, see they're already going 3x3 down the back straightaway. And Gordon Spain with a great push from McCullough, as a matter of fact. Right now, you're going right on board with Joshua McCullough. And like I said, if he can win tonight, an extra $200 will be going to Joshua McCullough right now. Getting a great push from the back of the 88. And at the line, give it to McCullough barely. Not to be outdone. Gordon Spain right up the middle. Again, put by Christopher Carter. How about Garrett Caswell? He's hooked up with Kevin McCullough. There's still going to be 3x3 for 4 rows deep down the back straightaway. Right now, everybody jostling around trying to find something to happen. But right now, see McCullough still trying to pull that third lane. For the moment, still 3x3. Well, this is the treacherous part, especially going through this trouble here. You do not want to be pushing too hard and trigger a big one. Because for starters, the driver they only got one fast repair for tonight. One fast repair, you get one. Think of it as a one get out of jail free car if you play Monopoly. That's pretty much what that fast repair is. You get 2 damage. If you can get back to the pits with the car, you can activate that one fast repair. You're immediately right back in the race with a brand new car, still able to win. But after that, if there's any damage, you're stuck with it. McCullough now to cover Garrett Caswell down to the bottom of the track. Gordon Spain now up trying to cover that outside lane, and Carter still right in the middle lane. Right the line, give it to McCullough. Right now, Zachary Harry, the only car a lap down and out of the lead pack. Matter of fact, he'll be entering turn 3 now. The field thunders off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Of course, if you were live Friday night when HGR ran right for BDS, you will see a very familiar sight. The fact that the 2 McCulloughs, father and son, hooked up on the bottom lane. It was a McCullough 1-2 finish, an MMS 1-2 finish. However, the roles were reversed. It would be Ken McCullough getting the win over Joshua McCullough. But right now, a lot more on the line for Joshua than what it was last week. Meanwhile, one person trying to screw up this whole pre-race bonus. Garrett Caswell in that middle lane. Ashley's going to get covered. Oh, contact in the back to keep it straight. Some drivers scattering. I believe that was Carl Lingle making contact with, I believe, Joey Maslowitz. Regardless of who it was, made contact. Almost a wreck. A lot of heads-up driving from several drivers to not let that be a caution. Oh, McCullough almost pinched Caswell in the wall. Hang on to it there. Joshua going to get stuck in a sucker hole. Kevin McCullough up to cover to 05. Right now, Steve Sidemore charging back on the bottom lane. I mean, this is a lot of. I mean, this is great racing early in the race. It's a little risky running 3 wide. Now, one mistake and this whole field can fly apart. You're pretty much counting it down like a ticking time bomb. As Caswell to cover McCullough again, Kevin McCullough to the ground floor, back to the bottom. And Kevin McCullough looking to try to get the lead once again. Outside lane starting to fall apart just a little bit. Still got a lot of good help up there, but they're starting to get more spread out compared to the bottom 2 lanes at the line. Give it to Garrett Caswell again. And let's ride on board with somebody. Let's see what it's like running bumper to bumper. Right on board with Steve Sizemore. There comes a massive shot to Garrett Caswell. Bam. Anything he can do to get that 19 out in front of that 03, but right now that does not look to be happening. Right on board the gyro cam. Right now, Sidemore in a 3-way battle for the 3rd spot. Making the 4th spot. Here comes Christopher Carter with a push from Gordon Spain. Up the outside. Oh! Somebody blew. Gordon Spain blew it. They're wrecking. Gordon Spain has blown it up, and they have wrecked big on the back. Or in turns 1 and 2. Eric White, massive damage to that 88. His motor done as well. Man, oh man. On our first caution with 32 to go. Let's see what happened here. So we're actually gonna ride on board here and see. A lot of pushing, a lot of pushing. There it went. Of course, White trying to get out the way, and a massive hit for White. Carl Lingle getting a piece of that. Joey Master was a piece of the wall. It's right on board with Gordon Spain. Well, there's going to be a brief moment when he gets off of the 16. That's when she's going to go. Right there. And from there, it's just a helpless feeling. You can't go. You can't get out the way. You can't do nothing. You're out in front of the field. From there, motor's gone. Motor's gone, and you're alone for the ride. We'll ride on board with Tim White through this. Right now, just trying to get out the way. Unfortunately, there's no room to get out the way, and bam! Gonna go all the way around, hard into the wall. John Ward, Ambrose Knievel's gonna sneak through on the bottom. One more time with Joey Masowitz through this. I'll see it right there. There's contact, and bam! Carl Lingo as well, massive hit. We can't get a word with Gordon Spain. Gordon Spain, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, man.
Well, buddy, was there any warning that the engine was going to let go?
Man, I had just looked down, everything was good, and I feel like just in no time if she blew on me. I looked down, everything was red. I just was pushing a little too much there, not paying enough attention, I guess. But I thought I was good. Until I wasn't.
Well, buddy. Is there any? I know you got one fast repair left in the chamber. Is there any chance 38 can still get up there and compete for the win?
Possibly, if I get this lap back at least, I'll probably go. I'll be 2 laps down after this, so hopefully, we'll see. I guess there's a chance.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. Hopefully, we'll see you back up there at the front on the lead lap before it's all over with.
That's the plan. Hopefully so.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Gordon Spain. Not a race he already wanted. Justin Johnson out front. Garrett Caswell, Kim McCullough, Chris Recorder, Steve Sizemore, the top 5. With 30 laps to go. Right now, as they run, we'll see if we can't get away with Eric White real fast. Eric White, Garrett Jenkins up here in booth, buddy. You got a copy? Try this one more time. Eric White, Garrett Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. Got a copy real fast?
Yes, sir. How you doing, brother?
Well, buddy, I'm doing pretty good. Hate to say it, but that whole wreck is just a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, unfortunately, I tried to get around him, caused a bit of an issue.
Well, I just want to ask. Before I want to ask 2 questions before you go green. What goes through a driver's mind? They're just sitting there pushing, and then they hear the guy in front of them blow up. Like, what's the feeling? Is it immediately just trying to find a way around, or is it pretty much just you're stuck there for the moment? Like, what goes through the mind when you see a situation like that?
I immediately thought to get around him, and then I checked my mirrors. It looked like I was clear. Clearly not as much as I needed to be. I had a big butt pucker moment, I'm not going to lie. I'm happy that we got fast repairs, so I still have a shot at this, but I got to stay clean for the rest of this race.
All right, baby. Well, best of luck to you. We'll get you back down for the restarting zone. Ran out a bit of time for the second question.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
Yep. As for the Steve Sizemore interview, he was already interviewed once when he sat on pole. And of course, speaking of the pole sitter, Steve Sizemore, he will be restarting this race in the 5th spot. See if we can't get him up here one more time. Next caution. But for now, Johnson and White will bring them down to United Rentals restart zone. McCullough, Carter, Sizemore, and Tim White. We're rolling. Great push from Carter to the back of White, down the back straightaway, or down the front straightaway in turn number 1. Right now you see McCullough trying to push the A2 back up there to the lead. Sizemore right behind him in that 08 car, down the back straightaway. Garrett Caswell, a bit of an internet issue. And here we go. For Eric White, maintained the lead for the moment. Christopher Carter still giving a great push to the back of that 88. Off of turn 4. For Eric White has not led a lap tonight. Or as a matter of fact, he has, but was under caution. So White now in front of Justin Johnson and Garrett to Eric White. Outside lane starting to slowly deteriorate right now. Carter, White, and Knievel are the only drivers who occupy the outside lane. Now Sizemore and Richard Elliott's going to fall in line here, try to get that outside lane back rolling. As for a lot of the other drivers, they've migrated down to the bottom. You're going to see a couple of them maybe try to get up there to the top lane, make something happen. But for right now, I doubt we're going to see the 3 wide action that we saw before the first caution. So I think right now, 27 laps to go, there's still at least 1 pit stop remaining that has to be made before these drivers can really go all out and start racing. Right now, John Ward in that 92. If he can get caught up to the back of this pack, he'll have a shot at it. And he's going to get that chance because Darnell, Elliott, McCullough all migrate to the top of the racetrack. Ward's going to cut in the bottom. Bad Fast Ward starting to make a charge. Forget what I said about maybe they're going to settle down on the racing, because it looks like now they're starting to ramp it back up. Christopher Carter continues to lead here at Talladega with 26 laps to go. Right now, Carter up to block that outside lane. Almost gets the Tim White a little sideways. Able to hang on to it. Ambrose Knievel jumps to the top side of the racetrack. So does Joseph Allen. Of course, the pre-spin bonus. Joshua McCullough right now in the 14th spot. You see that third lane trying to get formed up. And then we'll try and make something happen. Michael Wingo would jump up there in that number 25. Right now, Carter back down to cover the 88 of White. Wingo still trying to make that outside lane work. Well, the key thing here is you got to have more than 3 drivers to really make that third lane work. 4 or more is about your best chance. But the more the better. As you see now, Knievel will fall back in line, leaving Michael Wingo all by himself in that third lane. Tim White to lead with 24 laps to go. Not getting McCullough trying to win the second HGR race in a row. Oh, a little bit of contact from him and Carter. Oh, they're getting turned sideways. Hang on to her, boys. Bad news for Carter is he's going to have to force himself up onto the track. They are 3 wide. Sizemore in the middle. Oh, contact. There they go. Sizemore. Not going to save it. Hard into the wall. Gets clipped by Gordon Spain. Man, oh man. 24 laps to go, still a fast repair in the chamber. But you hate to see it this early for Steve Sizemore. It's been a summer to forget. Has been a victory lane all summer long. At least not on the televised broadcasts at least. And they ain't going to help his chances a lot. But we know how it started, Christopher Carter. Let's actually just rewind and really see what all happens here. Okay, so we got to go all the way back. Yep. Let's just take it all the way down the back straightaway here. Right here, coming off the corner, so there's contact with McCullough and White. Then there's contact with Carter and White again. Christopher Carter, well, he sees turn 3 coming. He's got to get up. They try to give him some room. Unfortunately, there's just not enough. The 69 of Harry makes contact with Sizemore for there, and he almost had it saved. Hard into the wall. Completely killed the whole rear end of that car, the whole right side, really. I mean, it really is just a gut blow. It's almost a helpless situation. You don't even want to be in the middle 3 wide. Contact for the 69 to the 08. I thought for sure Sizemore had it saved, but just gets into the grass, shoots back up the track. That's all she wrote. Right on board with Christopher Carter through this. The whole thing. You see he's pushing the car in front of him. There's contact there. And from here, it's just going to be a very bad spot that all these drivers are in. There's the contact with Sizemore. Forward into the wall. And of course, you're gonna sit there and wonder, well, why has he got to come up? He's stuck on that apron. It's all over. When you get to that apron of turn 3 and 4, you're coming back up whether you want to or not. And I don't know, they tried to give Carter room, just wasn't enough. We'll see if we can't get Steve Sizemore. Steve Sizemore, you got a copy, buddy. Of course, so Steve Sizemore away from the mic at the moment. Let him time to get cooled off. Let's see if we can't get Christopher Carter in here. Christopher Carter, Garrett Jenkins up here in booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, look like just a victim of circumstances. Really did not want to get down to that apron. Can you just walk us through everything that happened from the back straightaway down into turn 3?
Well, it started off with a whole lot of hard pushing, and I don't know if that was net code right there with the cars behind me, but kind of got, I think Eric got pushed down under me a little bit, and it drug me back, and I went off his nose and went down to the bottom. But after that, it was all net code for sure, because the car I went into the corner beside, he was actually in my car, so.
Well, buddy, looks like there's still just a little bit of damage to the 16. Is it going to affect how the car handles or drives for the remainder of this race?
Nah, it shouldn't affect it. Not at all.
All right, buddy. Well, look, we'll let you get ready for this restart here. Best of luck to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Unfortunately, could not get Steve Sizemore's side of things. I got to imagine the driver to 08 probably not all that happy right now, but well, the good news for Sizemore, he has not lost a lap. Matter of fact, brand new cars goes back to that fast repair I mentioned earlier. You only get one. Only get one fast repair to use. That's why it's very critical with that. You try not to get as much damage as possible throughout the race, because you use that fast repair on lap 2. Well, you can wreck again on lap 6, and it's completely done at that point. Some drivers know how to do races without using a fast repair. And all it takes is a little bit of luck. That's really all you need. You just need some luck to really even win these races. But right now, a man trying to return to victory lane, get his first broadcast win on my channel that I know of. Richard Elliott in the 0-2, outside of him, John Darnell, the pre-spin bonus driver, going for $200 extra. Joshua McCullough starting in 3rd, Carl Lingle in 4th, Bad Fast John Ward in 5th, Jason Branch in 6th, Christopher Carter, James Waring, Tim White, and Justin Johnson rounds out the top 10. Top 15 before they get back going. Garrett Cashwood, Joey Massowitz, Eric White, Kim McCullough, and Danny Barnes. That is the top 15. As Elliott Darnell brings them back to the United Rentals restart zone for 20 laps to go. Pretty much an even push. Bottom lane, very well, more organized. Then back straight away, outside lane, not nearly as organized. Casswell driving to the bottom of the racetrack. As they're going to go 3 wide immediately with Carter and Branch trying to make something happen that 3rd lane. Pretty much not a very organized restart like we've seen from either lane. Kind of spread out, but now they're coming back together. As right now, you got Branch, Carter, and Johnson in that outside lane trying to make something happen, as Darnell Darnell, Carl Lingle, Kevin McCullough, Joseph Allen, David Sheets, Mark Vondell occupied that middle lane. Everybody else, I mean, you got Elliott, McCullough, you had John Ward, but now Ward up the middle. 3 by 3 again. McCullough looks to the outside of Richard Elliott. Down the back straightaway, going to get a massive push from John Ward. Almost gets turned by Ward. Massive wiggle out the O fighter, scattering again. White able to get back in line. Waring able to get back in line. Still 3 by 3. Right now, bottom and third lane with not a lot of help compared to the middle. Down the front straightaway. Going to be 18 to go. Cutting the tension with a knife. So right now, at some point, as the laps wind down, the intensity is going to pick up. There's going to be less give, more take. The shots are going to be bigger. The shots are going to be where you don't want to be pushed at. That's just the nature of plate racing at Daytona and Talladega. Down the back straightaway again. Branch side by side with Ward. Now Ward a nose ahead of Joshua McCullough on the bottom lane. All right, now you got MMS and you got Dega Pro. 1 and 2 leading their respective lines. McCullough for MMS, John Ward, the leader of Dega Pros. Gonna be 17 to go at the line. Garrett Caswell still blinking in the back. Possibly got a warning from race control over that. That might be why he dropped to the back under the caution. Well, right now, McCullough now able to get clear of Ward for the moment. Ward's going to battle back to the outside. One car off the wall. Another one on the apron. They save it. Might have been I believe that was the 38 of Gordon Spain. It was not. It was the 6'6 of Joey Gladio. Or Gadio. Ever had him. That's that name. Regardless, it's going to be 16 to go at the line. You see the outside lane really starting to crumble. Only 4 cars. That consists of Branch, Carter, Johnson, and now Eric White. Garrett Caswell is going to jump up with them, but right now it's in the middle of the bottom lane. Now Josh McCullough holding back John Ward, but now to the bottom, Richard Elliott. Well, Elliott's led 4 laps tonight, so is McCullough. They're actually in a 3-way tie for the most laps led between them and then the other driver. That would be at the driver running in 11th, Kenneth McCullough. Right now, Elliott up the cover. Elliott up the cover. Joshua McCullough now. That'll lead the bottom up for Tim White. At the line, giving to Elliott again. 15 to go. Right now, if you want to know how close it really looks, so right on board with Carl Lingle. Of course, the blind squirrel entry. Yeah, look at Jason Branch, Ken McCullough. You really see that third lane is starting to slip back ever so much more. McCullough's going to look to the outside. I think Ken McCullough's thinking, well, now it's time to get back up there to the front as they storm down in the middle of 1 and 2. Going to be coming down the back straightaway. Going to get 3 by 3 again. McCullough trying to bring that outside lane up right now. His son, Josh McCullough, leads going into turn 3. Well, there's that straight, that third lane needed. They needed Kim McCullough to get up there and pull them. Joseph Allen Right behind the 03 of McCullough, having a very quiet night. Oh, McCullough almost got turned off a Ward's bumper. What a save. Well, he's trying to hold on to the $200 bonus, plus what he gets tonight. Kenneth McCullough now occupies the middle lane, covering John Ward. Richard Elliott pushing Joshua McCullough now. We would give you a rundown of top 5, but it switches every lap. It switches. Just about every scoring loop. Now, Kenneth McCullough out front again. It's McCullough 1-2 again. Identical, near about to how Friday went. As far as the front two go, it was a McCullough pushing a McCullough and MMS pushing MMS. Joshua McCullough back in front of John Ward. Father and son don't like they're going to be helping much right now. Oh, Waring, Sizemore right there to go. James Waring upside down all over the top of another car. Tim White, Garrett Caswell. Joey Maslowitz, David Sheets. You see Danny Burns turned sideways. Steve Sizemore involved. Ambrose Knievel coming to a stop. It is the big one with 12 laps to go. Man, oh man. Danny Barnes, Garrett Rowland, Justin Johnson, massive damage. That motor's completely toast. Gordon Spain, massive damage. Will not get the wave around. Steve Sizemore. Damage to the front end of that car. About James Waring went up and over somebody. All right. Let's see how this one starts. We're going to be coming off a turn 4 here through the tri-oval. I believe this is going to start somewhere towards front. So it starts with a 13. Man, nothing anybody can do. So it's actually going to start out there with James Waring and Joey Maslowitz. Rewind it. Right there, a bit of a checkup. Joey just gets a 13, a bad spot, and from there, I mean, it's on. Everybody's wrecking and crashing. Waring's on top of White. Let's ride on board with Joey through this from the cockpit camera. It's a bad push in from there. Look at all the damage. Look at all the cars behind them. Let's see, who's next? Garrett Caswell's side of things. They're just gonna fall. Man, not even a God. Not even a warning. And from there, Caswell will bring it to a stop, get it towed back to the pits. Steve Sizemore's view of things from the gyro camera. But really, he just makes contact with Sheets. That's all I pretty much see. That's where the front damage came from. Another shot. Justin Johnson's hood just bouncing around the track. One more look at. We'll go ahead and cover what all took place. Well, really, there's really not much a whole lot of people can even do. I mean, you're just going to see Well, that camera ain't gonna be the best, but that's pretty much all it takes. And from there, calamity. Let's see if we can't get a word with James Ware and get his side of things here. Alright, so we're about to run out of time. One in green, but we'll pull up Waring real fast. James Waring, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth, buddy. You got a quick copy?
Garrett, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good myself. Just want to get a quick word with you. What did you feel like having? Did you feel like it was too hard of a push, or what was your take on things?
Nah, there's a check up in front of me, and I let up. The guy behind me let up, but apparently the guy behind him didn't let up, and we got bumped, but I was able to save it, and then we got hit again. And then that's when I got turned up into the wall.
I hate to tell you, buddy, you just weren't up in the wall. You're trying to climb over the wall.
Yeah, I was definitely up in the catch fence.
But I want to ask, with so few laps left, is this going to affect how you drive the remainder of this race, or is it would tend to go with it just get back up there to the front, whatever happens, it'll happen?
It push as hard as I can to get back up to the front.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. Hopefully this ain't the last we'll hear from you tonight. So best of luck to you, buddy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep. Just about all the drivers involved in that incident had to use their fast repair if they hadn't already. And Gary Caswell is back onto the racetrack, one lap down for the Steve Sizemore fans. Right now, Sizemore Meyer batting in 20th spot. I don't like you got a lot of damage done in that car, but meanwhile, we'll be bringing it back up to United Roads restart zone. It's the McCullough 1 and 2 with 10 to go. And not a great start by the 03 of Kenneth McCullough at all. Wait, no, that's going to open up the outside for Ward if he chooses to take it. And really outside lane still hasn't recovered. Matter of fact, they're so spread out, they really can't form a run. So really, if you're that bottom 3 or 4, this is your chance really to try to form up and pounce on Joshua McCullough. Right now, everybody's going to stick to the, well, I said that. Richard Elliott will jump up now. Elliott wants to lead, and he'll have something to say about this $200 bonus. Well, we said at the top of the night, at the top of the show, if there was a driver that could potentially win the pre-spin bonus for the first time, it would be Joshua McCullough. But he still has to get through Richard Elliott, Kenneth McCullough, John Ward, and everybody else. Down and back straight away. Elliott still side by side with McCullough. Ward's pretty much just been hanging out that top 5 the majority of the night. 8 to go. Everybody should be good on fuel. In the event that we get a green-white checkered, there will be 3 attempts. The first 2 will be your traditional green-white checkered. However, if there is a wreck on the 3rd green-white checkered, it will not matter. This race will finish under green regardless of what it says on the screen. But right now, seven to go. There's Richard Elliott trying to hang on for dear life. Well, right now, this is the calm before the storm. You see the storm back there brewing 3 wide, deep in the pack. Drivers trying to mount a charge. Looks like White, Johnson, and Carter. But right now, Ken McCullough right back to the lead. He's going to get a great push for Joseph Allen. Of course, if you watched the Midnight Racing League last night, Joseph Allen had a great run going until he was eventually eliminated. As they're getting dicey back there in the back again, Danny Barnes almost into the wall. How about this? Joshua McCullough down to cover Richard Elliott with 6 laps to go. They're still 3 by 3. Only 5 laps to go. This is the part of the race now. You're going to start pushing even harder. You're not going to care where you're pushing. You ain't going to care how hard you're pushing. I mean, at this point, this is where everybody's trying to get to the front. And if you're Joshua McCullough, you're trying to figure out how to stay there. Right on board Richard Elliott. Caution is out. Eric White into the inside wall. Danny Barnes, Justin Johnson. That got another car stopped. Steve Sizemore. That, much I hate to say it, that'll end Justin Johnson's night. One fast repair already been used. Mustang for Steve Sizemore, the pole sitter. And it will be another night. Sizemore will have to wait for victory lane. Who else had damage? Danny Barnes, massive damage. Joey Massowich, John Darnell. David Sheets. All right. Let's see how this one starts. Sheets going to come down, almost hesitates a little bit. Hesitates too long. From there comes right back up. White looks like he'll come down off Sizemore's bumper. From there, just bam, and bam, and bam. It's going to take a lot of deciphering to get this one squared away. Well, let's look at the slow motion camera here. You see Sheets, he'll come down in front of Darnell. What happens up here? Maybe Sizemore comes up just a little bit. We'll get another camera view on that. But from there, anyway. See neck coating between the 6 and the 8 goes through it. There makes contact. Justin Johnson trying to sneak through in the bottom. He will not be able to. From there, Sizemore goes up. Bam. Johnson and Darnell's going to suffer the same fate. So see if we can't get another look at this. Because really there's about 2 wrecks in one. We're going to look at Steve Sizemore's side of things here. I do not want to do this fast pace neither. Well, it all's going to start really whenever the 06 of David Sheet, he almost hesitates to drop down that bottom. He thinks about it for a half a second, and from there, and it's just hard to say, really. It's hard to say if the 08 comes up. It's hard to say if the 88 comes down. But from there, I mean, they would have had it saved too if this right here does not happen in a massive shot. See the hood coming through. Mark Von Dale gets a piece of it. Justin Johnson, he's already wrecked out of it. It's right on board with Justin Johnson. Matter of fact, we'll just rewind it just a little bit further here, folks. From there, Johnson, he's thinking, maybe I'm going to sneak through in the bottom. I almost got it, does not. Bam. Damn, you hate to see it too. Let's run on board with David Sheets. Right there, they about had it saved. Unfortunate contact Well, Sheets does make it through other than that little bit of contact. Unfortunately, you see the Calamity behind them. Lastly, and I never thought about doing this before, let's do the digger cam. If it shows anything. And unfortunately, digger cam just a little too late, but that is pretty much the carnage. Damn. So you hate to see it for a lot of drivers, for Justin Johnson, for David Sheets, for Steve Sizemore. Steve Sizemore no longer in the Discord, so guess we won't be able to get an interview with him tonight. Been a very frustrating summer. What does this do? It does set up the first overtime attempt. See if we can't get Justin Johnson in the booth, get his side of things. Justin Johnson, Garrett Jenkins up here in booth, buddy. You got a copy?
I'm good, buddy. What's going on?
Well, buddy, want your side of things. Look like you about had it saved and almost had it missed, and then they came down and collected you. What was your take of things? What did you see?
Basically, I was looking at a clean track, and the guy came down, John Darnell, came down into me, and I didn't know where to go.
My buddy, of course, like several other ones, it has been a rough summer for you, along with Sizemore, Corbett, Waring, and a few other ones. What's it going to take to get this season turned around?
Luck. That's all it is. One answer. Luck. That's all it is. These races are. It's luck. You got to be in the right place at the right time, and point and pray.
All right, buddy. We're going to drop you back down, let you watch the end of this race. Unfortunately for Justin Johnson, he'll be watching the finish of this race from the garage.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time, buddy.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Yep. All right. McCullough Elliott, the first attempt at green-white checker. And for Josh from McCullough, you need 2 laps to defend this lead and get back around to the checker, and you will have a $200 bonus on top of what this race pays out in anyway. But what does this race pay out tonight? $60 to the winner, $50 to second and third, and $40 for fourth and fifth. Well, now McCullough's already slipped back into third. But right now, Richard Elliott trying to hang on. He says, I don't care about no $200. I just want to win a race. Oh, one driver's going to get turned to the grass. Michael Wingo. No caution. Wingo will impact the wall. Aaron White was also involved in that, but we'll focus back up at front. Josh McCullough battling back to the inside of Richard Elliott with a big push from John Ward down the back straightaway. They're starting to scatter. Jason Branch trying to start that third lane again. McCullough out front with $200 on the line with a big push from John Ward. Well, right now, Elliott needs Kenneth McCullough to really push him off this corner. Will McCullough do it? I doubt it. But now John Ward is clear. Does Bad Fast Ward look to the outside? Here comes Elliott with a run off of 4 at the line. McCullough up the block. Joshua McCullough, $200 bonus to the driver of the 05, and they're going to wreck at the line. Woo! He almost lost it. Joshua McCullough will win the race. He'll win the $200 bonus. John Ward in second, Richard Elliott third, Kenneth McCullough fourth, Tim White, the top 5. Man, oh man. Carl Engel going to jack up the rear end of McCullough. And Knievel. 2 blind squirrels. Let's go and get Joshua in here before they kill him. Oh, just do a burnout better. Joshua McCullough, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Let's go.
That's what I said. You win, you're the first driver since we started this. How many months ago? 3 or 4 months ago, to finally cash in the $200 bonus. Just take me through the whole race. It was pretty much looking like you weren't taking no prisoners. That includes your dad, Kid McCullough, as well. Just take us through the race. What went into, pretty much how'd you strategize this whole race out from start to finish?
I was just trying to manage, trying to stay up front and hold my position, and I was definitely a lot of pressure. My heart was racing. I was really scared with my dad being on the outside and Richard, because I know my dad, he's not going to let off for nothing. He's going to try to beat me. And I don't know, the ending just, I don't even really know what to say. I'm so shocked that I won it.
You're the first man to accomplish and what many were starting to call the pre-race curse, pre-spin curse. You had a lot of drivers like your dad, like John Ward, several of the best, Steve Sizemore, Sean Corbett, all trying to get it. How does it really feel to be able to talk them names and be the first?
I feel really good about it, man. Shout out to everybody that put money in to do this.
Well, buddy, I do want to ask, were you a bit surprised, though? Again, well, not really surprised, but really not getting the green flag pit stops that a lot of people were hoping for. And really, just how does it affect the driver when it's cautions, when there's a caution? Sure, 1 and 2 might be all right, but then there's been several races over this broadcast, over this network the last month. Has been caution after caution. Really, how draining is it to a driver to have to sit there under the pace lap, especially one of your position tonight?
I didn't really matter about getting. I really wasn't worried about getting the pit stop. I'm pretty happy that we did get a yellow, so we can race it out to the end like we did.
Well, buddy, it was a hell of a race tonight. Really a really good job for you tonight. Is there anybody I want to thank? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Shout out to Jimmy Crow. Shout out to you. Shout out to Ambrose. And shout out to McCullough Motorsport.
All right, buddy. Hell of a job by Joshua McCullough tonight. Wins the race and will walk out of here with $260 in his pocket to start the week. You're richer than what I am. That's all I got to say.
Hell yeah.
All right. All right, buddy. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Being joined in the, well, we're being joined in the booth by Ambrose Knievel. We'll pull him back up here in a little bit. We'll get John Ward in here next. John Ward, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
I got you, Garrett.
Well, buddy, I know when we first started this, I believe you were the first driver to take a crack at this $200 bonus thing. Does it kind of sting a little bit that it wasn't you this time?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of shots at it. I mean, it's all good for Josh to win it all, but yeah, I mean, I would like to be the one to win the money, of course, have those rights. Ain't too many people has ever done that, so that's a good feat. But I'm sure it's gonna keep going, and we're gonna come up with something and still do that part and all. But yeah, it does hurt a little bit that I didn't get it.
Well, buddy, it was a very calculated race for you tonight. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen you push as much tonight as what we've seen in times past. But coming off really that whole green-white checker where you're trying any way you can to try and get around McCullough, or were you pretty much just stuck in line or committed to the end?
They're on the last lap. I was gonna try to get enough temps to push Josh. I knew they were gonna have a big run. If I could have got clear out there, I was gonna jump up, especially because I was gonna be hot. So if I got clear, I was gonna try to jump up, and try to. But I never did get clear. When he went up in the trial boy, I was like, Tim was really pushing me hard into him, and it gave him a big lead out there. But yeah, if I would have got clear, I would have definitely went up. I wasn't content to just push him, all the way. But I didn't ever get clear. And when he went up, I thought I was actually going to have a chance at it, but we were too close to the line.
Well, buddy, it was like I said, a very calm, calculated night for you. And really, does this really just fire you up for a next HGR race? It always sucks finishing second. For me, if I ever finish second, I'd be mad for the first day about it. Then I'd always think, oh, if I can finish second, I can go up one more spot. Of course, multi-time winner in HGR, 2023 PGR champion, and a 7-time Intimidator Series winner. So I wanted to ask, how does a race like tonight affect the mindset for John Ward?
I mean, it's almost like a win for me. If I can get up there anywhere in top 5, I feel like I'm doing a really good job. You always want to win. Everybody wants to win for sure. With Josh there, I was pushing him a little easy because, I didn't want to turn him or nothing. But at the end there, I was shoving him with all I had to try to get him up there. So that was a good run. But yeah, I mean, if I finish second there, that's all good. That's all. I'm happy with that. I like to win it. Everybody, for a driver's sport, I would love to win it. But I'm happy with second place.
Well, buddy, last question. Then I'll let you get out of here. Let you enjoy your extra $50 that you'll get tonight. Is there anybody want to thank? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.? The floor is yours.
I want to thank you for broadcasting, Jimmy Crow for doing these events every night. He does a lot to put in these flyers and get everybody messages out. So shout out to him on everything he does, and Dega Pros, and shout out to Josh. A lot of people's tried for that extra bonus, and nobody's got it, and Josh McCullough came through tonight.
All right, buddy. For John Ward, he'll regroup for the next HGR event. Try to go up one more spot next broadcast. Appreciate your time, buddy.
You got it, Garrett. Thank you.
Yep. That being said, we'll do the top 3. We'll get Richard Elliott in here. Richard Elliott, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, buddy, so close again to getting your first win well, I know you've won. I know you've won HGR numerous times, but just not on the broadcast side things. Did you feel like you had a great? Yeah, and I begin to think that for a lot of drivers, but hey, did you feel like tonight was the night? Was there anything you could have done on that green-white checker to maybe change the outcome?
I could have just drove through Josh, I guess, but it's kind of a late block. Kind of cut him a break and moved up instead of holding a straight line. But it was a good race. There was nothing else to do.
Well,
everybody's pushing hard.
Well, you make a good point. It was a great race through and through to the end. Numerous times it was from the back to the front, from the front to the back for you. And I want to ask, how hard is it with these Xfinity cars? Last week heard several drivers talk about, it's easy in the Gen 6 cars to work their way back to the front. It's easy in the Gen 4s to kind of get back to the front because you're really not in a term known as gridlock. Just how hard is it to go from the back to the front, especially on a track like this where you need about 5 cars to make that third lane work?
Yeah, it's some guys, our connections are better, and when you're pushing, the cars don't move around. There's other guys you'll get hooked up with, and as soon as they touch you, it makes your car jump. So there's a handful of us know who we can work with, and we kind of just do that through these races. And it helps that it's a fairly small field, 20 cars in that area. It's a little easier coming from the back than if it was a 40-car field, Yeah, a lot of it comes down to connections in these races, too. Like I said, I had someone push me in the middle of that race. I think it was Lingo or somebody. And my car, as soon as he touched me, my car jumped out from under me. It's internet connections help.
But buddy, all in all, it was a solid run for you. You're gonna walk out of here with an extra $50 to start the week. Is there anybody want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Yeah, Jimmy for putting this on, and you've always for broadcasting. You know you've been a curse to me, but McCall would like to thank them. Been working with them a lot. And Josh, he'll probably give me $50 since I didn't wreck him.
All right, buddy. A hell of a job tonight for Richard Elliott. He'll bring it home in the third position. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
And being joined in the booth by Ambrose Knievel. How you doing, buddy?
Hell yeah, sir. How are you, Jimmy Bubby?
I'm doing pretty good myself. It was, of course, not the night that you were wanting, but the Blind Squirrel group seemed like they got a little bit more speed in their cars here lately.
Yes, sir.
And just
Yes, sir. We did good. I thought we did good. We just had a little bit of bad luck there. That's all good.
Of course, I'll ask you the same question I asked John Ward, but with a little bit of a different aspect. How hard is it on the mental side of things? You show up every week. You got a fast car. We've seen the Blind Squirrel cars at the front for the last month. You, Carl Lingle, several other ones. How hard is it just to have a good race go awry right at the end like we've seen the last couple months?
That's the thing about Blind Squirrels is we're here just to race, just to have fun. If it don't go good, it don't go good. If it goes good, then it goes good. You know what I mean? That's how we roll.
Well, buddy, it was like I said, a great race for you tonight through and through. I do want to ask you though, how hard is it?
Sir.
How hard is it really? I just asked Richard Elliott the same question. I'm going to ask you the same question as well. See if we get the same answer. But really, how hard is it tonight? Just trying with these cars. How hard is it just trying to make moves from the front to the back? We saw a lot of drivers after they got involved in cautions. They had to take a risk and jump up to that third lane only for somebody not to go win them. Just how hard is it from the driver's seat to just try to get through 20?
This is a great.
Go ahead.
Honestly, this is a great car. I mean, I love this car. You can get that side draft, man. You can really move some positions, but the problem tonight was not the car. I will say it was more driver related. So, no, I'm super confident in this car, and it wouldn't be hard for me to move from back to front with the setup at this track. So, if that answers your question, sir.
It does. It answers a lot of it. I want to say I am waiting for the day that you will get in the victory lane. 'Cause I feel like it's going to be an interview for the ages. But
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It will be. I've already typed out my speech. So. I appreciate you, Jimmy Bobby. I appreciate Jimmy Crow. Man, all the drivers. Man, this is good stuff that's happening here. I love it.
Yes, sir.
I was a little on edge when Jimmy got a little emotional there for a moment, but then he reeled it right back in, and it was awesome. Love this stuff.
Well, buddy, it was a hell of a race tonight through and through. I think only 4 cautions where we've been seeing, and not just this series, but several other series, kind of the SummerSlam 499 wearing off in some drivers. Really, what's the plan going from, because here in about a couple months we're going to be going from the summer to the fall. What is the fall looking like for Blind Squirrel Racing? Can they finally break through, get that victory, whether it's you, whether it's Lingle, or whether it's another one of them squirrels you got?
So here's the thing with the squirrels is that we're league racers, so we're gonna probably pull away from the money scene a little bit, do our league stuff, and we'll be in the money races when we can, but
Well,
that's the deal.
well, hold on
We're
now.
gonna go to the leagues
Well,
when they're starting up here.
Well, hold on now. You got one more before you do all that. You got one more.
Yes, sir.
You got one more race to do, money wise, and it's
Yes.
August 17th.
Yes, sir. We'll be there. We'll be there. Everything was great until until Carter shows up. But
That's what I said. I was driving for both of us the other night. just ask Jim Bob. He brought me in the fucking. He allowed me to come in there and talk. I wasn't 3 sheets to the win. I was 5.
They had your spirit win it. They had your spirit win a couple of beers and all that.
I mean, I'm your spirit animal.
Well,
Appreciate you, Chris Carter.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I told him right when I come in that race before we went green. I said I'm driving for me and Ambrose both tonight. I'm just letting you all know.
That's awesome.
Shit, I got it covered. And you know what, Ambrose? I never caused a caution in 2 races.
Yeah.
I thought I'd cause like 10.
I mean, no, I mean, normally I'm pretty good about that because I try to hang on the back because I know that I'm,
Yeah.
Ambrose!
Well, hold on,
Hey,
hold
what's
on,
up,
hold on,
Pizza
hold on.
boy?
Hold on. We still on air here, so calm it down just a little bit. But yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yes, sir.
no,
All right,
you're
thank
all
you.
good.
Thank you, Jim Bob. I gotta go on get.
All right. To be fair, I was in the wrong channel after all. But with that being said, nothing like a little pre-race excitement here. But with that being said, we'll go through the results tonight. So at the end of things, Joshua McCullough, John Ward, Richard Elliott, the top 3. Kim McCullough, Tim White ran out the top 5. Joey Allen, John Darnell, Carl Lingo, Christopher Carter, Joey Massowitz ran out the top 10. 11th through 18th. Garrett Caswell, James Waring, Jason Branch, Danny Barnes, Mark Vondale, Zachary Harry, Joey Gladia. I'm going to have to give somebody to pronounce that name. So I apologize to Joey if I've been mispronouncing it the whole time. Ambrose Knievel, Consum in the 18th spot. And I know there's a couple more. There they are. David Sheets right at top 20. Gordon Spain, Eric White, Justin Johnson, and Steve Sizemore. I don't round out the top 24. I know there's one more. So nope, that's it. So Steve Sizemore will round out the field in the 24th spot. Tomorrow night, Inspired Racing League Cup Series Championship Finale. Shane Hart, Elijah Fisher, Mike Hauser, Josh Henderson are your 4 drivers going for a championship tomorrow night in the Inspired Racing League. That will be right here on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. And then, mentioned it earlier, August 17th, Bash at the Beach. Live from the Myrtle Beach Speedway, the first annual Bash at the Beach, might I add. Super late models in action. If we can get 60 drivers, $500 to the winner, not to mention money going to first, second, in both the heat races, and all 3 heat races, and the LCQ, they'll get $50 each. It'll start with 60 if we get 60. It is going to start with 60. It'll go through 3 heat races for 20 laps, 1 LCQ, 1 provisional from there. 200 laps, 36 cars, $500 based on 60 drivers. You can send your payments to Jimmy Crow or James Waring at Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. You're not going to want to miss it. I can guarantee you that. Until then, thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great night. Way to end a Sunday night. My name's Garrett Jenkins. I will see all y'all tomorrow night for the Inspired Racing League Cup Series. Until then, everybody, have a great rest of your night and a good week. I'll see y'all tomorrow.